Hi there, my name is Thomas McGee, and in this video, we're going to talk about how and when you should start your own online shop. Okay, so over the years, I've had the opportunity to work on a lot of websites. And during that time, I also had the opportunity just to do a lot of consulting and brainstorming with different business owners and independent professionals on finding the right tool for the right job. So a lot of times, a question that comes up pretty regularly, especially for somebody who's been blogging for a long time or who kind of already has a business on the web or who is looking to expand a business to the web, should I start an online shop? Or even, I want to start an online shop. What are the tools that I should use? So I wanted to share some tips with you today if you're in that boat. If you're somebody who currently has an online shop or products that you want to sell online, but aren't quite sure how to start or how to go about it. So the first thing you have to do to consider, and what I always recommend as I'm talking with different people who are interested in the concept of an online shop, is do you need an online shop? The first thing to consider is, what is it that you're selling? Is it a digital product? Is it something that somebody has to order and then has to be fulfilled and shipped to that person? What is it exactly that you're selling? Also, how many SKUs are you going to be selling? SKUs. How many specific items are you going to be carrying? That question, the question as to how many different items you're going to be selling, is probably the first thing you want to consider. Because if you're going to be selling, like, you've got one ebook or maybe two ebooks and maybe an online course, a whole shopping cart system doesn't really make much sense. Now, on the other hand, if you are, say, like a stock video website, I've had the privilege of working on one of those that has literally thousands of SKUs that people can purchase and download, then yeah, an online shop is going to make sense. So there's the first point, the first thing you want to consider. What is it that you're selling, and how many different items are you selling? If, for example, there's quite a few people out there who like to sell online courses or coaching or an ebook or something like that, in those cases, you may want to actually bypass the online shop concept altogether. Why is that? The main reason is because an online shop can be fairly complex, right? Because then you have to be able to manage each individual item. You have to manage the sales of that item. You also then have to incorporate a shopping cart system. So a shopping cart system is going to have to handle everything from a Stripe or a PayPal integration to handle and process all of those payments, to things like the receipts. You have to remember that when somebody makes an order, they then have to receive an email receipt, which includes all the details of the order that they processed. They also have to be able to receive the downloadable items if there's something that they need to be able to download. And again, if you're selling something like t-shirts or a physical item, that then has to be sent to them. So that whole framework, that system of being able to send out emails and everything else, may just be overkill for what you're doing. If you're selling online courses, maybe something like Teachable or LearnDash or something like that will work just fine. You don't necessarily need a shopping cart system in order to make that work. Okay, so kind of finding the right tools for the right job. And part of doing that is, first of all, considering how many products do I currently have and how many will I have in the future. So here are some scenarios. There's no real one size fits all. Every business is different. Every series of products is different. But here's the first thing you want to consider. What is it that I am going to be selling, and how many different varieties of this am I going to have? If you're going to sell t-shirts, for example, and you plan on having more than 10, I would probably do your own online shop. If you're a distribution company and you've got a whole bunch of different items that you're going to be able to sell online, then yeah, I would recommend doing an online shop. If you're a stock video or a stock photo website, or you're an artist and you have a lot of different pieces that you're going to be creating as time goes on, highly recommend an online shop. If you're an author and you're reaching that point where maybe you're going to cross the threshold of 10 books and you're going to keep writing a lot of books in the future, online shop would probably work for you. Now, let's say that you are in the boat of, I have had a blog for a long time, but now I'm reaching the point in time where I'm ready to monetize that blog and launch my first online course, right? There's a lot of folks out there I've spoken with who are kind of in this boat. And for you, I'd recommend no, do not start an online shop. It's going to be overkill for you, right? So let's stop now and let's talk about some of the different tools that you can use that might be helpful as you are making your decision. Here's what I would recommend if you're just getting started with selling online. Go to a website called Gumroad. Now I'm going to leave links to all this below this video and you can check any of these out and kind of experiment with them. But start with something like Gumroad. Gumroad is totally free to start. You can pay for it to kind of unlock some of their features, but they've got everything built in there for you. They're going to send receipts to your customers. They're going to do the payment processing for you. They're going to deliver the item for you. You can even do courses on a very basic level. You can do rentals for videos. You can give PDF downloads. So it's a great place to start if you're just going to be selling a couple of products. Or even if you just want to start experimenting with the concept of selling online, Gumroad is a great place to start. I know a lot of folks tend to go to a service like once they're ready to get a little bit bigger, they want to go to a place like Shopify. Shopify is good, it's powerful, there's a lot of features built in. But here's the next step, what I would recommend if you're looking to go beyond something like Gumroad, like I said, which is really simple, really basic, and you're looking for something a little bit bigger. I wouldn't go the Shopify route. What I would recommend is 2 WordPress-based solutions. Now, here's a little bit of a disclaimer. This will require a little bit more work on your end, and depending on how complex this is, you may actually have to hire it out. But in the long run, you're going to end up with a lot more control, flexibility, and power with what your shop can do than if you go to a third-party service that is all hosted. Now, Gumroad is all hosted within itself. It's on a free and open source platform. However, that's just great for getting started. But once you're ready to take the next step, I always recommend getting away from a platform that controls the actual content, that controls the functionality of your online shop. WordPress or a WordPress-based solution is open source, which means you can hire someone who can build just about any amount of customization into that shop to make it uniquely yours. You may not need that at first, but as you grow, you may. So there's 2 WordPress solutions that I recommend. One is Easy Digital Downloads. We currently use this over at Notable Themes, and I've done a lot of customization to that site. You can just go over to notablethemes.com and look at some of our sales pages to see how I've kind of customized it to make it our own. Easy Digital Downloads is great if you're selling, as you might guess, digital products. So if you've got a bunch of ebooks, if you're doing software, if you're doing courses, you can add on something like LearnDash or something like that. Easy Digital Downloads is powerful. It's got a lot of reporting. You can do commissions if you've got affiliates. Things like that are all built in, and there's a lot of extensions and plugins that you can add on to it to make it even more powerful. So again, if what you're selling is primarily digital, I would go Easy Digital Downloads. Now, if you're going to be handling shipping and physical items, I would recommend WooCommerce. Now, some people have asked me in the past, well, why wouldn't I do sell mostly digital, but why wouldn't I use WooCommerce for that? And you can. WooCommerce is a powerful platform. What I've found is that Easy Digital Downloads just seems to handle it a little bit better than WooCommerce, a little bit more seamless. But if you're going to be handling a lot of physical items, if you're going to be shipping things, if you're going to be handling a lot of taxes and things like that, there just is nothing better than WooCommerce. WooCommerce comes for free to start with, and then it has a bunch of extensions that you can add on. There's even some themes that you can get out there that are specifically tailored to WooCommerce. But WooCommerce is a powerhouse. It can handle tons of variations, different types of products and services and weights and measurements and UPS and FedEx and USPS integrations. The sky's the limit with WooCommerce. Now, I would say, like I mentioned a little bit previously, is it a little bit easier to get something set up on Shopify? Yes, but in the long run, the power and the flexibility that you're going to get from a WordPress-based solution is endlessly valuable. So to kind of recap a little bit, if you're considering starting an online shop, ask first this question: do you need an online shop? If you're just trying to sell an ebook and a course and a couple of other things, probably not there yet. try Gumroad, experiment with it, and see if it's going to help you solve that problem. If you're crossing the threshold of 10 and you're greatly expanding, maybe you've got 10 or 20 online courses, or maybe you've just got a whole bunch of things. Like I've got some t-shirts and mugs, some physical items, and then some digital items, and it's just growing. Then at that point in time, start to consider an Easy Digital Downloads or a WooCommerce solution. Those are the 3 tools I always recommend. They're great for different stages of whatever type of online shop you're trying to build. And they are all tailored to make it not only easy to use, but enable you to expand as you continue to grow with your platform. Okay, so hopefully you found this useful. As always, hit that like button. If you did, share this video with a friend or a colleague who you know who may be starting an online shop in the future. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.